Okay, so we've looked at the past simple and we've looked at the past continuous. Now let's look at the past perfect. So the past perfect is a little different to the past simple and the past continuous. The past simple was for one action, a completed action in the past. The past continuous was for an action that was in progress, so a longer action at a time in the past. Now the past perfect is a little different. We use the past perfect when we're talking about a time in the past, so we have one action in the past, and I want to tell you that this action happened before this other past action. Okay? So let's look at an example. It will help me explain it. Okay, so by the time I got to the station, the train had left. So there are two actions in this clause. By the time I got to the station, and the train had left. So which action happened first? The train had left, yeah? So I went to the station, and the train had left. The train was gone, yeah? It was gone. There was no train in the station. So I'm telling you that this action happened before this action. Let's look at the form of it and then we'll continue explaining. So, similar to the other, here we have the train is our subject plus this verb, okay? It's the past of have, which is had, and here we have the past participle. So each verb will have three forms. The infinitive, like to go, the past, which is irregular for the verb to go, went, and the past participle, gone. So similar to the past simple forms of the irregular verbs, the past participle is just something you have to learn. You have to maybe get the list, similar to the past simple verbs, take 2 or 3 every day, and just really learn them and try to use them, either speaking or writing. And that's the only way you're really going to remember them, is by using them. Yeah? So you've got our subject, the verb had, and the past participle. So it's similar to the past continuous, that the verb have, if I change this to have, it then becomes the present perfect. If I change it to had, it becomes the past perfect. So it's very important that we don't forget this verb, because this is the verb that tells us it's the past and not the present. Okay, let's look at a timeline. It can help us. Okay, so we'll say that this is now, and we'll say all of here is the past. Okay? So, let's say by the time I got to the station. So let's say I got to the station at 9 a.m. Okay? 9 in the morning. I got to the station. But the train left at 8:45 a.m. So we're saying that this is 8:45 a.m. So I'm saying here is when the train left, and here is when I got to the station. So because I'm starting with this action, I'm saying by the time I got to the station, the train had left. This action happened before this action. If I want to talk about the sequence of actions, and I start with the first action, I'm just going to use the past simple for all of the actions. So, do you remember my story about what I did this morning when I was explaining the past simple? I got up, I had breakfast, I had a shower, I brushed my teeth, I got dressed, I tied my shoelaces, I left the house, I drove here. So I'm using the past simple for all of these actions because they're in sequence. I got up happened first, I had my breakfast happened second, I had a shower happened third, I brushed my teeth happened fourth. So I'm telling you that this is the sequence of events. So they're all the past simple. If I want to tell you something happened, past simple, and I want to say something happened before this, time in the past, then I'm going to use the past perfect to show you this. I could change this clause into the train left 5 minutes before I got to the station. Now I'm telling you the sequence of events. The train left 5 minutes before I got to the station. Both of them are past simple actions. So I can tell you just by the sequence that this happened before this happened. By the time I got to the station, the train had left. Now I'm using the past perfect to explain that this action happened before this action. So we're really using it to talk about a time in the past before another time in the past.